At that, the Delhi police has shared the preliminary report with the Ministry of Home Affairs. This is to do with the very hit and drag case that we have been tracking and covering. Now, in that report, Delhi police has accepted that there were lapses on part of the policemen deployed at the pickets. So the onus was with the police. The police goes ahead and accepts that they were at fault, that there were lapses on part of the policemen deployed at the pickets on that ill-fated night, the intervening night of 31st and 1st, when this incident happened at about 2 a.m. Taking this across to Arunima. Arunima, that is a big report that you managed to access for us. Delhi police accepting that there were lapses when it comes to the deployment.
Yes, that is what the preliminary assessment on ground has established. Of course, the final report from the special CP is awaited. And even though MHA did ask the special CP to submit that final report immediately, they do say that they don't want a wishy-washy report. They want details into what really went wrong. If there are human errors, as is being pointed out in the preliminary assessment, human errors to say that there were alerts from eyewitnesses, and this group of men, the suspects here, they drove around and repeatedly took U-turns, and there were police tickets there. Why were they not alerted? That's the lapse number one that is being asked. Question number two that is being asked is that there are cameras installed, and all the cameras have been found to be in working condition. So the purpose of those surveillance cameras is so that the police can, in the police control room, monitor the feed, and if there is anything untoward, a red flag goes up. So why did the red flag not go up in that police control room where the camera footage was being monitored? That's the second thing. Third thing that they're asking is that there is a proper chronology of when PCR calls were made. The first call going around 3:20 a.m. and the final one going around 11 past 4. That's a chronology that has been established. So why did it take so much time, almost an hour, for a manhunt to be launched? Why did the first PCR call itself not get the policemen on duty go look for the offending vehicles, as eyewitnesses are claiming that they had spotted the car with the body, and yet there was no, immediacy on part of the policemen on duty. So this is what the preliminary assessment seems to be. We'll have to wait for the final report to see what else are the issues that are flagged off and what are the changes that are brought about as far as the way policing on streets of Delhi is concerned.
And Arunima, just for a bit of background as to what has led to this, of course, the Home Minister took some stock taking after this incident was reported, and hence this was asked of the police. If you could take our viewers through all of that has happened since the time the accident took place.
See, Delhi police in any case reports to the Union Home Ministry. It is the administrative ministry in charge. But in this case, given the public anger and given the horrific, gruesome details of the crime that were coming out, there was shock as to how this went undetected since, like I said, the suspects were allegedly driving around for more than an hour, taking repeated U-turns. There were repeated questions asked as to how did this go unnoticed? Where was the fear of law in the mind of the suspect? If they were driving in a drunken state, why were they not bothered about, police catching them red-handed? And secondly, like eyewitnesses were saying, that they spotted the body, they called the police, and yet nothing happened. So when these details started trickling in, Union Home Minister took notice, and he immediately asked the Chief Commissioner of Police, Sanjay Arora, to ensure that a proper inquiry is conducted and a report submitted immediately. Shalini Singh, IPS, is the one who's conducting that inquiry, and that full report is still expected. But you're right, the Ministry of Home Affairs has taken serious note, and if, what we get to understand is that attempts are being made to rectify whatever lapses or whatever grey areas have been thrown up after this incident.
Right, Arunima, stay on with us. Taking this back to my colleague Anvit also, who's with us. Anvit, when it comes to the autopsy report, and we're going back to it, now the family is crying foul. The family is also alleging murder. They also say that they do not know who is Nidhi. So this entire claim that Nidhi is making, that she's a friend of Anjali, she was along with her, all of that is being refuted by the family, saying that they don't even know her.
The basic question, Griya, now is that whether Nidhi was at all at the place when the incident took place. Because one footage that had initially done rounds on social media also showed Anjali riding the scooter alone. We do not know exactly what time that footage was, because police had been claiming that the time of DVRs differ from the actual time of incident. But going by that footage, it means that there was some point of in time when Anjali had been driving the scooter alone, and therefore that could also be one of the footages footages from just before the accident. Now Nidhi's presence is under question, and so is her statement that has been given to the police, or that the one she came out and told News18 India when she was being interviewed. She had said that Anjali was heavily inebriated and that she had requested her repeatedly not to ride the scooter. Despite that, she rode, and then she, the scooter collided with the Baleno car. But what the police sources are telling us that Anjali and Nidhi both had been drinking at the hotel, and therefore when it doesn't sound logical that Anjali was heavily inebriated but Nidhi was not. And if she was, then after 2 days, she had recalled the incident for the police, because her name surfaced only 2 days later, and her statement under 164 CRPC was only recorded yesterday. So incident takes place 2 days ago, and when she recalls incident, will she be in a condition to recall this incident time by time, because she too was inebriated and the incident took place 2 days ago. So her statement is somewhere shaky, and the police the problem is that police only has her statement as an eyewitness, or the statement of the 4 men who have been arrested. All of them were drunk, all of them were inebriated, and we have confirmed this through sources. Police had also come on record to say that those 4 men were drunk, and now the sources are telling us that Nidhi too was drunk at that time of the incident. So now, these statements do not actually have merit, is what, and they have come under question, is what we are looking at right now, and therefore this certainly will affect the investigation. When Nidhi is saying that Anjali was heavily drunk, this might also dilute the case against the 4 men who have been arrested.
And before I go to my colleague Nikhil, who continues to also be with us, and with one final point that I'd like you to explain for our viewers, this entire argument that Nidhi made, that her phone broke, in the process of the collision, and this is why she could not go ahead and inform the police. However, there is one image where she's seen entering her residence with her phone in hand. There is an eyewitness, in fact, her friend's account, who has gone on to say that she, in fact, asked for a phone charger at about 2:30 in the night. So all of this is going against the very statement that she's made.
See, there could be a possibility that phone was broken. The phone we are seeing in a CCTV footage, that was not in one piece, or that was not functional, and she had asked for the charger to to see if it is working. But see, the sole question is that shouldn't police come on record and clarify these doubts? Since the beginning, since this incident came to fore, first questions were raised on laxity in policing. Then now the report that has been sent to MHA, that also reflects that somehow there were dysfunctionality in the police apparatus. Then questions were being raised on the incident and the sequence of incident, and now Nidhi's statement is also under question. So when so many questions have been raised on an incident, shouldn't the police officials, senior police officers, come on record and clarify all these doubts? And until they don't do it, such questions will be raised.
All right, Anvit.